From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Friday's edition of For the People on October the 12th, 2018. We're going to say hello to Daniel Bernard, a good friend of mine. We've been, friends for quite a while. Met at local Christian radio station, WTBN, and Somebody Cares Tampa Bay. Marvelous job. Been serving the Bay Area for decades. And Daniel met Jesus in the 70s, I believe, 1978. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, Daniel, you came to me and you said not too long ago, well, when I say not too long ago, this has been in the works for some time now, but with a movie. And I thought, wait a second, you guys are making a movie? And Daniel said, yeah, we are making a movie. And as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, there's a movie that came to theaters on September 7th, and Daniel Bernard is going to talk to us about a very important movie, and you want to listen up because the story is life-changing. Daniel, is it based on a true story?
Yeah, it's it's inspired by true events that took place with my son Luke, who was in L.A. pursuing an acting career, and he was in a car accident. And in this car accident, they had to remove a 4x5-inch piece of his skull.
Oh.
In order to, he experienced traumatic brain injury in order to allow his brain to swell in order to save his life. And he also had broken vertebrae and facial and rib fractures and so forth. He was what they call a Glasgow Coma scale of 3, which means with dilated fixed pupils, which basically means you're gone, you're dead. But he did have a slight pulse, so they got him to L.A. County Hospital, where they did that surgery, and then we were informed of it and just said, we just need to get there right away, and not knowing whether he's going to live or not. And then, of course, they let us know that if he does live, the probability of him ever functioning normally again is almost non-existent.
Yeah. So this is inspired by real life events.
Yeah.
What made you want to take this to the screen?
Well, what happened was that when Luke had a miraculous recovery, which the 700 Club documented, and but 6 months after his accident, typically with people with traumatic brain injury, they have insomnia, and Luke was experiencing that. And yet one night he fell into a really deep sleep, and in that deep sleep he had a dream, and he got up the next morning and he talked about, and he got just really excited because number one, he finally slept for overnight, but number two, because he had this vivid dream, and he began to describe the dream and about two brothers who were sibling rivalries, and they were in a car accident together, and one had the same injuries that he had and the miraculous recovery, and the other brother was was not actually the brother who had the injuries was very popular and Mr. kind of an athlete and what have you, and the other brother just disdained him. And he said, Dad, both the brothers are actually portraying me, my physical and spiritual transformation. And I said, wow, that's too creative to come from you. It must be from God. So we said, but
interesting.
We just encouraged him to write down to start writing the dream.
Yeah.
He had just finished his speech therapy, and we thought it would be good for his recovery. Well, lo and behold, a month later, we've got this 88-page story that turned into a script, and I ended up reading, and I said, well, I don't know, I think it's decent, and so shared it with a couple other people who produced movies before, and they said, actually it has some legs on it. So it's gone through a number of rewrites and so forth, but eventually it became the favorite, which is real powerful. Is that here Luke he was always struggling. In fact, he's probably never written more than 15 pages in his whole life, even though he's a graduate from the University of Central Florida.
Yeah.
But here in the midst of brain trauma, he writes this
incredible
90-page script. So it's pretty phenomenal.
I'd say so. And folks, if you're wondering what we're talking about, we're going to be playing a little sound from the actual movie. And if you'd like to see the trailer in its entirety, I believe you can just go to thefavoritemovie.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
And check it out. Now, it debuted September 7th at theaters, and I understand that you're wanting to make this a national release, so, it would be coast to coast. How's that coming along?
Well, we need a lot of help. We either need a big player, big distributor to see it and say, yeah, let's take this on, or we need investors to come alongside to do that. We've got some of the marketing people who actually market it. I can only imagine they want to market the movie, of course, but they're waiting for us to get the finances.
Yeah.
So the IMDb rating is 9.6. The audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 4.95, and out of 5. So
that ain't bad.
People are loving this film and making a big impact on folks. And the idea it was a strategy, basically. We said we got limited funds and so forth, and we're an indie film, and people aren't going to pay attention to us, and we got to make our own waves, if you will. And so with the monies that we had to launch here in Tampa Bay with the hopes that we would do, pretty well, and so that other people could get, hopefully take a look at it and get on board. And so, anyway. Yeah.
That's good. All right, here's some audio.
Better get going. Don't you need time to powder that face?
You go like this and still look better than you've been.
Nice outfits. You do look better than me.
I know.
You always have to be the star.
Some things come naturally.
You being a jerk is natural.
Okay, boys, this is not double date talk.
All right, so there's some competitiveness, obviously, in that rivalry. You can really feel that tension at that scene.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, there's plenty of drama.
Oh, yeah.
In
no
the
shortage.
And I tell people it's a 4 out of 5 tissue movie, so
oh, yeah.
Get ready. I said you'll definitely cry, but you'll definitely cheer at the end. So.
Yeah, it's not one of these... and I hope you don't mind me saying, tacky movies that you've seen years ago where people would attempt to put Christian movies together. This was done very, very well. Let me play another clip and let's talk about the actors next too.
Hey, you want to come see me fight tonight?
We'll see, pal.
Mom asked you to come to my fight and it didn't show. You've always put him first.
Wow. All right, tell me who's acting in this movie.
Well, you've got John Schneider. Of course, people know him from...
He's been a guest. He's been a frequent guest on this broadcast. He's a guest on our show.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, well, yeah. So, Have and Have-Nots,
oh, yeah.
Smallville, Dukes of Hazzard, and now...
Superman's daddy.
With the stars.
Yeah, the guy's huge, so you couldn't have picked a better person to do that.
Well, we didn't know he was going to be on Dancing with the Stars, and so that's which already helped, Then we have Tyron Woodley. Tyron is the welterweight champion of the world for the UFC. He just defended his title September 8th on pay-per-view worldwide.
Whoa.
And
okay.
That also gives us a lot of, here. So, this how did this small budget film get these players and so forth? Trust me,
it's a God thing.
He just put it together.
That's
brother.
it.
Tell you that.
That's it.
We have Jeff Hardy. Even Jeff Hardy, he's a cameo appearance. He's a 3-time WWE champion, and so really well known because he's been in the WWE for 20 years, and he and his brother won the tag team match stuff. They're those champions as well. So anyway, we've got some great people in it. The acting is superb.
Yeah.
One thing, we didn't. I'm a first-time producer, but I'm obviously, like everybody else, many-time moviegoer, and we at least knew what we didn't want. We didn't want, like you were talking about, we didn't want one of those cheesy Christian movies.
No.
You know what I mean? And so we said we wanted to do it well, and really, what happened was that the Christian community and the business community came alongside of us and helped us to produce this film. So it looks really, so the money that we did was spent on the screen and not for all kinds of other stuff like feeding the actors and so forth. And
that's right.
And for transportation. So it was tremendous. The city of Oldsmar. People came up, went to bat, and helped us out, and now we've got this quality production to show for it.
Daniel, The Favorite, this movie that we're talking about, where was it filmed mostly?
It was entirely in Pinellas County.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had a lot of folks allow you to use their establishments for shoots?
Oh yeah. We in fact, almost all the establishments, with the exception of 2, and even the 2 that we did have to pay for, were discounted so greatly. So we only paid for 2 locations. So, and we shot in many locations, So like I said, the city of Oldsmar, and there's a wreck in it, and so they, we had to have all their fire and everybody else. All those departments involved in there, blocking off the street and all that kind of good stuff. And, we got, they graced us with all that.
All right. TheFavoriteMovie.com. Here's another clip.
Wake up, son. No, wake up.
How's your brother doing? I don't want to talk about it.
Sounds like you're going through some stuff.
Yeah, well, this is how I'm dealing right here.
While our pain and our grief is real, my prayer for you today is that you'll feel the peace of God that passes all understanding, and that you'll know that He loves you.
Man, there's some really amazingly deep, penetrating parts of the movie. Daniel, how are people receiving this? What is God doing with this movie so far?
Oh, well, people are just really touched and moved. And, we had one group that didn't want to market our film because they said, well, our market is mainly, women 45 and up, and they're just not going to like the fighting and everything else. And I tell you, none of that is true. I mean, we've got grandma. It's really a blessing because we got grandma, and then sitting there, and she's being moved on and touched, and you got grandson, all the way down to grandson. I'm telling you, the whole family. But, we're seeing, University of South Florida students, we did a survey with them. We had 137 of them view the film and then take a survey. And we asked them a question, would you buy a ticket? And would you come back, buy a ticket, and bring friends? And out of 137, 134 said yes, 3 said maybe, nobody said no. So, we're really excited about that because, we really wanted a film that was going to reach the millennials and that the youth and young adults could say, you know what, finally we've got a film that we feel like we can share with our friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we really think we've accomplished that. But, there's a tremendous father-son reconciliation there that you'll see. So people who, and favoritism affects everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you are the favorite, sometimes as the favorite you try to compensate because you're the favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And so on. So it just really relates to everybody. It's very relatable. That's why people love it. That's why the ratings are so high on it. And of course, we do have a salvation scene in it, and it's so powerful. It's not cheesy. It's raw, authentic, and just really, really powerful. Enabling people to really bridge people to Christ if they want to bring their not yet Christian friends out.
If there's an investor or there's a ministry listening that wants to get involved, what does it take? What will it take approximately to get this out nationwide?
Well, right now it's that as a minimum we'd like to get into 200 theaters across the country, and that would take about $1 million.
Okay.
So just kind of scale it like that, and that's probably putting in a little bit less marketing than what the other bigger films would put in per theater. But we've already been boots on the ground, going to different cities, showing it to other pastors, and getting commitments and getting people to rally behind it in different cities. So we've already started a lot of that. We've done that in the last year, and by the way, if someone wants it in their city, say, guys, I want the favorite to come. 200 with 200 theaters, that means there's a lot of people who are not going to be able to see it.
That's right.
So those who are going to see it are going to be those who say, hey, come